Hello, everyone, and welcome to Born to Shine, a show being presented to you by Genius Kids, and of course, myself, Miss Rennu Dillon from Genius Kids, and Radio Zindagi. And that's my favorite RJ over there, Miss Ira. Hi, Miss Ira, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Miss Rennu?
I'm doing very well.
It's the first time seeing you in the new year.
Yes. Oh, Happy New Year. That's right. Yeah, that's right. With all that's going on today, everybody forgets of the new year, right?
Yeah.
But for those who tune in, today's a new show being brought to you as usual. As you know, Genius Kids always brings new items for you. And today's show is Born to Shine, not only because I took part in Diljit Dosanjh's video, Born to Shine, and happy birthday, Diljit. This one's for you, of course. But in addition to that, I really felt it was necessary to have a platform for children and youth from the ages of 5 to 25 who sparkle and shine beyond their boundaries. And there's so many of them out there. And let me tell you, this country needs these future leaders. So that's what the show is all about. And they could be shining in any arena, whether it's arts, music, sports, technology, community service, dance, young authors, activists, politics. We need good politicians. The list is endless. So remember, anyone can nominate someone you know, or even your own child, or the child can nominate themselves if they want. After all, the goal is to continue to motivate and nurture their gifts so they can continue to flourish. Our show will be here every Wednesday evenings at 7:30 p.m. right here on Radio Zindagi. And a special thanks to Neeraj and Seba for always encouraging my amazing ideas. When I told Seba I wanted to do the show, she goes, right on, this is great. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to spotlight upcoming talent. So if you're interested, simply text me at 510-364-4033, or you can go to geniuskidsonline.com and send us an email and we'll be in touch with you. As Dr. Seuss said, why fit in when you're born to stand out? Why fit in when you're born to stand out? And on that note, let's meet our first guest and the premiere of our show, because she refuses to fit in. She wants to stand out. And that's, of course, my very own Genius Kids prodigy, Ritika Kuppam. Hi, Ritika. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Miss Rennu. It's so great to be here. Thank you.
So I'm trying to figure out, when was the last time you and I saw each other?
Oh my gosh, probably when I was maybe like 5 years old, back in preschool.
Yes, it was. I think when you graduated and was going on to pre-K.
Yeah,
and you know, one thing I always remember about you, and I'm sure I can't see you now, you're sitting, but one thing I always remember about you is you were always very tall. And I'm sure you're still tall. And your mommy was very tall, because I'm tall. And I was always taken back when I meet other tall women. Your mom was very pretty, I'm sure, very pretty and tall. And you were also very tall. And I could never believe you were 5. I think at that time you always looked like you were 6.
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm taller than her now. So
you're taller than your mom?
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, welcome to the show. And it's such an honor to have you be the first guest on our premiere show. And I'm sure you're just going to make sure this show is a super success with our show today with you. So my first question to you is, of course, tell us a little bit about what you're currently doing before we spotlight on all the talent and all the stuff that you're doing. What are you currently doing? Are you in high school, college? What's going on?
Yeah, so right now I am a freshman at UC Berkeley. I'm intending to double major in economics and media studies, and additionally minor in American studies.
Whoa, you got time for all of that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then I know you graduated from which school?
I graduated from Saratoga High School.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you mentioned media studies, and I know you are very involved in multimedia as a journalist. You're a comedy writer. There's so many things. So let's first talk about your book. You wrote a book and you'd actually sent it to me, Colors, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about this book and what encouraged you to write this book.
Sure, yeah. So I think that back in March 2020, a lot of us had a lot of free time on our hands, a lot of new things to deal with, a lot of really crazy things happening. And along with that, the Black Lives Matter movement was unfortunately resurfacing due to, a lot of unfortunate things that were happening in just this country. And I couldn't just sit silent and let everything happen around me without getting involved in some way. I'm like, okay, I'm stuck at home. What can I do? And when everything was happening, I was like, gosh, I wish I was educated a little bit more about, anti-racism when I was younger. I feel like that was not really included in the curriculum taught at school. And that is something that's really important to me. So I decided to write colors. And I think that, you know, including, first of all, gender non-binary characters is extremely important for younger children. And I think
So
just,
elaborate a little bit on that, because some people probably don't understand the terminology you've just used there.
oh yeah. So, you know, I actually learned this a little bit later on in my life too, but certain individuals like to go by pronouns. My pronouns are she, her. You can see it in my Zoom name right here. Some people go by he, him. Some people go by they, them. Like there are so many different pronouns out there. And individuals who don't really, you know, like to categorize themselves into a certain gender tend to refer to themselves as gender non-binary.
Okay.
And, you know, sometimes they would refer to themselves as they, them. But, you know, there are plenty of pronouns out there. It's just up to the person what they're comfortable with. And I think that when I was a child, I didn't really have any characters that I read about that weren't gender non-binary. I think that, you know, having, as a child, if you're dealing with, you know, this kind of crisis with who you are, maybe looking to somebody in a book and seeing, oh my goodness, like they go by they, them too. Having that as a sense of comfort, I think is really important. So that's why I chose to make my characters gender non-binary.
Wonderful. So your book is, what have you done with your book? I mean, did you publish it? What exactly have you done with it?
Yeah, so my book was just kind of like, I just wanted to put it on social media. I didn't go through the stuff of publishing it. I just wanted to be out there for whoever wanted to use it, whatever parents wanted to read it to their children. And it's actually circulated quite a bit. I was kind of surprised, like it's been all the way to India. I got I got like a kind of message from the principal of an international school in Chennai, India. And I was just shocked, but I was just really happy. It was never like kind of a money thing to begin with. I just wanted to make a story and put it out there. So I was really happy with how it went.
And you're absolutely right. This is something that should be addressed in the schools. And, you know, since you feel that, what do you think is the right age or what grade level? You've gone through all the different grades now. What is the right grade level, do you think? Because a lot of parents feel that certain topics are not appropriate at certain ages. So what do you think, in your opinion, would be the right grade to address something like this?
Sure. Yeah. I personally believe that kindergarten is a great place to start. Honestly, as early as possible. And of course, like, you don't need to dive into the nitty gritty of topics immediately, right? But just small things like pronouns, right? Thinking about, hey, how would you like to be referred to? We always go around the circle and say our names. There's nothing wrong with adding our pronouns after our names, right?
Interesting.
Just so that each child can feel respected, can feel comfortable with themselves, because there are too many children who are bogged down with this pressure to, you know, assimilate to the two paths that we've kind of given, he or her, right? So just giving that flexibility, I think, is just so important.
But honestly, don't we as parents or families or as adults, don't we think that, you know, what would a little child know about being they or them? You know, let's not really complicate things for them so much right now. Let's keep it simple for them. Let them choose whatever they want to choose later on. But right now, let's just teach them the basics. Doesn't that happen? Ms. Rennu, do you have anything to add to that?
You know, this is something new for me. And actually, I've been thinking as she's talking, because I've always referred to he and she, and it's now that I'm understanding this. I think it's something I'd like to research a little bit more in terms of, because there's a fine line that you draw of how do you make sure you don't rock the boat too much with some parents who may not want to do that. But very interesting. And I definitely did read a book. It was beautiful era. So I'm actually going to send you a copy after the show. It's really wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah. So moving on, you've also into Cal TV, and I've seen some of your clips. So tell us a bit about Cal TV. You call yourself a multimedia journalist, comedy writer. So what's going on over there?
Sure. So Cal TV is kind of like the, you know, NBC, ABC of UC Berkeley. So we put out news stories for all the students, everybody to see, you know, Berkeley alumni, even people who aren't associated with Berkeley at all. we just put out news content. So as you said, I work as a multimedia journalist in the news department. So that consists of covering breaking news, writing my own news stories about, something that's going on, like maybe some student has decided to protest something, or there's
what's happening today.
Yeah, exactly. Every day I could make maybe 5 news stories every day based on what's happening. It's crazy. But yeah, it's super cool. It's amazing to have that responsibility of really getting information out to people, and making sure it's presented in an unbiased way, making sure that you're a credible source. Credibility in news is a huge kind of thing that
yes, exactly.
struggled a little bit with in America. So we really try to
and everywhere. What's something
I think everywhere right now.
What's something what should have been something basic has now actually become the highlight. Oh, news should be credible. The resources should be credible. But now we are like, this news is credible. It's an achievement.
Or some people
it's the basic. It's the most basic thing.
Some people rely on only Facebook for news.
Yeah.
So, okay, wonderful. And you say you've got a comedy writer. So in the news, are you writing comedy or writing about everything?
Oh, so that's kind of a little bit different from the news department. So how Cal TV works is that there are 6 departments: news, sports, entertainment, and then editing, oh my goodness, studios, and there's one other department that I cannot remember. But I am kind of participating in 2 departments at once. So in the news department, I work as I described, the multimedia journalist making news stories. But then in the other department, studios, I work as a comedy writer. And we have, if you've seen Saturday Night Live, we have a similar thing for UC Berkeley. And it's kind of a play off of the Colbert Report. We call it the Cal Bear Report. And like we write different skits and sketches. So that's what that's for.
Wonderful. So where do you see yourself going from here? I mean, you're doing so many things, where do you see yourself from here? Is this just something you're doing at college to keep yourself busy, or do you have a career path in mind?
Yeah, I think that Cal TV is definitely something I'm doing because I'm really passionate about journalism. I have been since I was in middle school. But I really see myself going down so many different paths right now. Like, I'm just a freshman. So, I see myself, maybe working finance somewhere because I think economics is really interesting. Or I see myself working in the entertainment industry, or, in the journalism industry. Like, I really am unsure about which path I'm going to take. I think I'm really happy to be, having a couple options in mind, so that as I go through my years, I can kind of narrow it down and be like, okay, this seems like something I could definitely see myself doing.
Wonderful. So one of the questions I have, which always comes up, is, when kids are heading out to college and they're picking the courses that they're going to do in college, it's known that, many times parents want to pressurize their children or put them in the direction that the parent wants them to go. What would your message be out there for? So first, my first question to you is, are these your choices, or has there been any influence from mom and dad?
Look at how happy she is. It has to be her choice.
I should have worked.
I mean, yeah, my parents have been very supportive. I'm very lucky to have 2 supportive parents. They have allowed me to pursue really whatever I want, which I am very grateful for. And I think it's also, there's something beautiful in showing up to class every day and really looking forward to what I'm going to learn, because I myself have chosen this for myself.
Right.
So, and there's also a feeling like if I end up taking a class that I don't like, I'm like, okay, that's on me for taking that class, right? It's not on my parents who forced me to do anything. Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of stress on students from a very young age to kind of know what you want to do, so that you can get into a good college, so that you can get a good job. And it's funny because even I know so many kids my age who have no idea what they even want to major in, and they're in college. So
don't we know a lot of adults who still don't know what they want to do?
Yeah, I know a lot.
In fact, when you ask that question, when Ritika just now said that, there are so many kids who are expected to know what they want to do in life. I mean, what about people? I mean, that creates so much pressure. What about kids, even adults, even people who don't really know what they want to do, which direction they want to head in? but it's okay to be clueless sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you are like Ritika, great. If you're not like Ritika, then also it's okay.
But I think what's neat about what Ritika's doing is she's already dabbing in the industry of what she's hoping to pursue.
Right.
Because if you can get some real life experiences, it's one thing what you learn from a textbook, but if you can get some real life experiences, writing, journalism, comedy writing, and now with social media and YouTube, there's so much you can put out there. You know, you actually start to feel which way where you want to go. So what would your message be to parents out there who, you know, a lot of parents want their kids to become doctors, engineers, you know, go into the IT field, you know, journalism is sometimes not even something in, you know, in their path. What would your message be out there to all the parents whose kids want to go in a different direction?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So I think that there's already, as you stated, there's a lot of pressure on the kid to really understand, like, first of all, getting into college is more stressful than it's ever been, you know, today. High school has also become even more stressful with that. So I think that placing that additional stress on your child to be somebody they're not is only going to lead to backlash. It's going to lead to a strained relationship with your child. It's going to lead to them being even more confused when they're older because they weren't given that space as a younger person to really think about what interests them. So now they're kind of behind on the curve, if that makes sense.
Right.
And I mean, I'm sure everybody knows somebody who, you know, got pushed into doing something they don't want to do. Now they're an adult and they hate their job. Like, I think we all have like one person in our life we think about whenever we think about that scenario. And I think that, you know, that's if you're an adult and you are doing something that you don't want to do, I think that's just such a sad way to live your life, right? Because ultimately it is your life. So to, you know, to any parent who like strongly wants their child to go in a certain direction, I would say it's really, really beneficial for you to sometimes just take a step back. And I know that can be really, really difficult, and you just want to like support your child as much as possible. And like, I want them to be successful, and do not worry, they will be successful.
I think you need to write a parenting book.
Just like you. Oh my gosh, with your parenting.
Your next book needs to be about parenting. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Tell us a little bit about what is a brand ambassador before we wrap up. You have a brand ambassador here. So what was that all about? That's what kind of got me. The word brew got me there. Quokka?
Yes.
Is that what it is? Quokka? Did I say that right?
Yes, you said that right. So at Berkeley, we actually have recent graduates created a startup called Quokka Brew.
Oh.
And it's essentially it's jitterless. Ooh. Am I still?
You're still there.
Yes, you are here.
Okay,
You're
cool.
here.
It is jitterless coffee. So with college students, coffee is a very, very common thing to drink. I mean, you got to stay up, you got to study. And, you know, studies have shown that, you know, a lot of coffee drinking can lead to anxiety, jitters, crash, that you feel worse than you were before. So these students have kind of engineered this new kind of coffee that has these different ingredients that actually do not lead to that crash and are also healthier than, you know, like with all these Starbucks and things, there's like 30, 50 grams of added sugar. Ours has 6 grams of added sugar.
Okay.
Yeah, so we try to be healthy and, you know, just good for students' health overall. And so that's why we're called Quokka Brew, like you can brew coffee. And I'm a brand ambassador for the startup. So I, you know, kind of go around, I pitch the product to different college students. I share it with even local retailers. I ask if like, would you be interested in carrying this product?
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So you're dabbing in sales as well.
Also,
exactly.
Yes.
Well,
yeah,
let me tell you, for those who are listening in and you're wondering, who is Miss Rennu talking to? Well, Miss Rennu is talking to a prodigy of genius kids. I have to say that because I'm so proud. I'm just beaming with pride today, literally. And because, you know, this young lady, she sent me her book to read. And when I thought about this show, I said, I have to have my show premiered with her. She's not only a pretty face and super smart, as you can already see, but, you know, if you can come up with a resume like this, you can't see it. But parents, she's putting together an amazing resume already. And I can guarantee you, if these are the kind of activities you do when you graduate from college, you're going to land yourself the best job. because if there's something like this were to land on my table, Ira, I'm taken back. And as I said, not just a pretty face, she's a National Merit Finalist 2020, the Halen Zarin Leadership Award 2020, Senior Legacy Award Leadership 2020, Herb Alpert Scholarship Award 2019, California Designated Arts Scholar 2019, and Triple E Award Spanish 2018.
Wow.
So in addition to all the other stuff that she's done out there, just fabulous.
Wow.
So we have a few more minutes, Ritika. I'm just really, really proud of you. We have a few more minutes. I know 2020 has been a very eventful year, and you're into journalism, and today has been a very eventful day, of course. Are you going to write about today?
Oh my gosh.
You have a story?
Yeah, make it.
Many stories?
There's so many things that happened today. Oh my gosh, I don't know where I would start.
So what's your plan for 2021? I mean, are you back at school? Are you studying from home? Are you doing virtual learning? What's going on right now?
Yeah, so this past semester I took classes from home, and Berkeley was all online, so that was no problem. It was just weird to take classes in the same room I took high school in, so it was just like my brain was very confused. But I am moving up to Berkeley next semester, so I'll have a taste of that college life a little bit. Obviously, I will be safe with COVID-19 and everything, but yeah, so I think that's the main thing I'm looking forward to in 2021 is finally getting adjusted to the Berkeley environment and kind of just, it hasn't really felt like I've started college yet. So, you know, taking that step into independence, I'm sure my mom's a little bit sad.
I'm sure she is, but you know, I had to go through that phase when you have to let them go. And, you know, mommy, don't worry about it. Just pray that she'll meet a local guy when she decides to get married and then she'll stay home, just like what I did with my girls.
No going out.
No going out. You can only stay within Saratoga area. That's it.
And just now we were talking about parents and their choices and the kids and their choices.
Yes, of course.
What happened to
Absolutely.
that?
I know. I sounded just like a parent. So in closing, Ritika, what would you like to say a little bit about, you know, yourself and what do you feel has attributed to you being so confident and you know, I mean, you've taken up all these skills and you're choosing your own paths. Where did you get this confidence and leadership from?
Oh my gosh. I think that honestly, my biggest role model growing up was my mom. And I decided like very young that like, I really just wanted to be like her. Like she, you know, raised my brother and I, like, you know, she was just killing it the whole way through. She was doing so well. And I saw that work ethic and that's how I adopted myself after that. And from there, I treating people with kindness is something that's very important to me. So I think just, even though I come off as like very confident, I think what I mainly want is just to spread positivity and to spread kindness, because that's what the world really needs right now. So yeah, I think just those main drives. I want to help people. I want to work hard. I want to be a positive light, especially when things aren't doing so well, like this entire past year. I cannot believe March is closer. March 2021 is closer than March 2020. That just boggles my mind.
I don't even know where this year has gone. Seriously.
Yeah.
Ida and I started a show in May and it's just, we can't even believe that it's already 2021.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
That's true.
Yeah. But I would just say to like, everybody who's watching is that, you know, feel free to really take the time to explore yourself. I think that there's a lot of, again, pressure to really, really be like, this is what I want to be. This is where I'm going to go. And that is that. Being completely honest, you know, I still am unsure about what I want to do. Like there's so many things up in the air, but taking time to invest in yourself and invest in your own personal growth is so, so important, and find that time. You know,
Ms. Rennu, I am absolutely amazed at how much clarity Ritika has, and, you know, and how amazingly you are able to speak your mind, you know, your thoughts. And it's absolutely amazing, Ritika. I am honestly honored to meet you today.
Oh my gosh.
No, really, I mean it. And I think and not a great thing now, in hindsight. I don't say that to a lot of people. But
Well,
yeah, I'm not.
I said that to many of my guests, so. But no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Such a pleasure. And I mean, it's an honor to have you premiere our show.
Seriously.
Come on. And you're truly an example of Born to Shine. I mean, if I think I picked the right name of the show, I picked the
You did.
right guest to launch my show today, Born to Shine, because you're shining in every single way. And I really hope that when in 20 years, when I'm completely gray and maybe I've got false teeth and I turn on the news and I will see her on the news channel, I'll be like, that's my genius kid right there.
True. Absolutely.
Yes.
I had
Thank you
goosebumps
so
when you said
much
that.
again. And be sure to refer any of your friends. If you know anybody else that's shining out there, spread the shine and let them know. We'd love to feature them because this show is for kids. We want you, I call you kids, you're young youth, but kids, because we really want to have you flourish. We need leaders like you. So thank you so much. And good job, Miss Kirti. Mommy, I remember Kirti. Good job, Mommy. Yes, kudos to you. Wonderful job raising her. I'm just so happy to know you guys.
Right. Well, thank you. We are at the end of the show. Thank you, Ms. Rennu. Thank you, Ritika, for being here. And Ms. Rennu, the same appeal to everybody that if you know somebody who was born to shine, let Ms. Rennu know. Her email address is rennud@gmail.com. Thank you, Ms. Rennu. Thank you, Ritika. I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And thank you, listeners. Thank you very much for tuning in. Just stay tuned to Radio Zindagi. Ciao.